Okay, let me attempt. And I'm going to make an attempt simply because you ask. All right. In life, are we going to deal with facts, or are we going to take people's opinions, assumptions, assertions, logical fallacies, and you can go on and on and on, all with all the different type of superlatives that we can add to this, okay? If you're going to live by facts, live by facts. You're going to live by truth, live by truth. But to have visceral against someone who wants to support the truth and live out the manner of truth so that their conscience can be clear, and to have a slant eye of condemnation towards them, a wicked eye, it's a bizarre behavior. Sorry. Now let's answer this question again. All right. Do many of you even know the history of the marriage license? I mean, I realize that a lot of you are new to my channel. All right. And we deal in facts on this channel right here, not opinions. And if we do give an opinion, we make it so clear that it's just an opinion, you can't miss it. But we don't deal with in opinions and trying to present opinions as truth. We don't deal with assumptions and assertions and what I personally believe, nor your book of the law or my book of the law. We may be entitled, all of us, to our own opinion, but we're definitely not entitled to our own facts. The marriage license in this country came into being and came into play because of miscegenation laws. In other words, it was illegal for blacks and whites to intermarry, mix. And that came from the white culture of this country. All right, sticking with marriage. Later on in the 40s, America saw that, you know what? American government did. We are letting a lot of money go through our hands. Since if anyone in this country wanted to, what they call today, race mix, it's called miscegenation. And they have to have a, look at this, license to get married. Now let's stop there just for a second, okay? All right? And out the whole of history of mankind, we need to ask ourselves a question. I don't care if it's the Egyptians, the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Byzantine Empire, the Islamic Empire. We can go on and on and on in different cultures. We need to ask ourselves a question, all right? Where, and let's just use even the Bible, where does it state and where does it say that you need the permission of the state in order to say, I marry you, you marry me? That's it. And then we go into the boudoir and we consummate this marriage. Will somebody please tell me, why does the state have the right to interfere in two consenting adults making a choice and decision in their life? Because I see something more to it. I'll tell you what I see. I see the state as being a pimp. And I think that people ignorantly, especially women, are prostituting themselves. And I'll give you my reasons why. You see, according to the laws of this land right here in America, in order for you to be legally married, because if you're not legally married, then you are, in some states, violating the cohabitation statutes and laws. Which, I'll go ahead and add in this, they're still on the books, but they're not prosecuted. They're not prosecuted, okay? But let's deal with facts again, okay? So you mean to tell me, if I saw this woman over here and I said, man, you and I need to get married, that we need to actually go to the state and look at this, watch this, pay for a license. Is that not legalized extortion for something that is already lawful in the first place to do? It's just a natural thing. You mean to tell me that the state says you can have this woman for $100 and it'll be legal? Whoa, 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 whoa. That's pretty bold. That is pretty damn bold. And most of you feel like you ain't even married unless you have a piece of paper from the state. Now, if the state gives you your rights, then guess who your God is? Oh boy, that made a lot of people mad. Well, Pastor, we didn't know. Okay, then what is repentance then, if you didn't know? All right? So basically, the state is playing the pimp. And they are determining, making a bunch of prostitution, or let's say they are collecting for the man to be able to use their property. Because if you have to pay in order to get permission to make this woman a wife, I'm telling you, we all need to really wake up on this and ask who is the authority. Because you see, the states found out you can make a lot of money on this institution of marriage. I personally believe that there's a whole lot more to this marriage license and us just capitulating and acquiescing to everything that they say. I think it has to do with manipulation, domination, and control. I really truly do. On a grand scale, I think that they are personally interfering psychologically with us, and they are ruling and dominating us. And that's the reason why we have so much fear, some of us. So much fear for those people who we give our authority to. It's utterly amazing. So it was illegal for blacks and whites to marry. It was miscegenation law. And we found out that we can make a lot of money. So guess what? We're going to make it, after all, there's benefits in it. In other words, if you go and get our state marriage license, then guess what? You can receive marriage benefits. You can receive tax benefits. If you join the armed forces, you can receive BAQ, get extra $200 to $400, $500, depending on what rank you are. I mean, there's a lot of benefits to this marriage license stuff. It really is. And you can claim dependents. And you see, it's always about what? Money rather than integrity of character. We really, truly need to start searching our hearts. And we need to find out all these agreements and all these contracts that we're getting into that is not being disclosed to us, because the majority of these contracts that we're contracting with the state, the terms and the conditions are not being really truly delivered to us. Could we really truly be even more free if we didn't contract with them in the first place? Are we not really truly ignorantly giving our allegiance over and allowing the state into in our bedroom to where they are the ones that regulate it, they put it together, and they are the only ones that can dissolve it? Whoa! Man. And then we like to say, well, I'm free, and I'm a master, and I'm a sovereign, I'm free this, and I'm free that. Think about this. You go get married and get a license by the state, marriage the way that you have learned how to define it. You can't dissolve that without the permission of the ruling authority. And I thought that if you're a man, you were the head of your house. What in the world is going on? I'm telling you, the powers that be in America has dealt with us wisely on every end. Have you ever noticed the government can't produce anything? They only can take, and they take it by force. By force they do. They use coercion. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They force you. That's what they do. Just by words and stuff written down on a piece of paper to comply. If you don't, they threaten you with jail. Utterly amazing. We have a lot of things that I think that we should be revisiting in our lives. I know it sounds strange, but Pastor Dow just told you the truth again. So I would say to this generation, if you want to keep the state out of your home and out of your bedroom, you don't want to go and make a contract with them. They'll give you benefits. They will give you benefits. But you have to be the one to determine if those benefits is something that you really, truly need. Because the truth is, when you do get a marriage license, you enter into a third-party contractual polygamous arrangement with the state. And that's the truth. We need to reevaluate a lot of things, and we need to start with the churches.